Now, millions of people are in need of houses in the city of Johannesburg. Newly elected member of the mayoral committee, Mlungisi Mabaso, says they will prioritise people who've been on the waiting list for over 20 years. Mabaso joins us now to talk about some of his plans. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. We know that as you and I speak, there's a backlog of about 500,000 people who are still in need of houses. What are your plans this is your second year going into this position. What are your new plans when it comes to really ensuring that people do get those houses?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me on the show, and greetings to the viewers at home. The reality is that when you want to deal with the backlog that Johannesburg is battling with, you need to have a multi-tool approach where you introduce various programs so that you are able to reduce this backlog that you are facing. In the previous financial year and in the current financial year, we have introduced the programs, one of the informal settlement upgrade, the other ones of the service stands, and then the another one was the redevelopment of hostels. But the reality is that when it comes to our mega project, the City of Johannesburg is not performing very well because of the budget that it received from the national government and the provincial government, because in the last 2 financial years, we have received zero budget from the provincial government, which it poses a serious challenge for us to be able to deliver on our mega projects, because most of the people who are in the waiting list are actual people that have registered them to be beneficiaries in our mega project. So in the absence of receiving any grants from the provincial government for the top structure, then we are unable to deliver as the expectation of our residents. But what we have decided that we are going to do this time around is to continue to have political engagement with the leadership of the province to see how they can intervene so that we are able to receive these grants, because they will be in the benefit of our residents. I heard a few days ago that the national government is threatening to take 100 million away of the HSDG from the provincial government, and our engagement will start there to say they can't allow that to happen, where else we've got we account for majority of people who are in need of houses in the city of Johannesburg. So those are the approach and the engagement that we are going to have with our provincial government, because without their assistance, we are unable, in fact, to deliver, and without their assistance, we will fail the residents of Johannesburg. And other discussions that we are going to have with the mayor is that of delegation of powers vis-a-vis the accreditation and the devolution of powers, so that we are able to get these grants direct from the national government, because we believe that as the city of Johannesburg, we have the capacity to deliver, we have the capacity to build houses, and we have demonstrated that over the past years.
And what and how are you going to perhaps deal with the major challenges that fall within your department? Because we know that corruption and fraud has been a huge factor. I mean, finances are one problem, but the implementation of the new budget that you're asking for will be something that needs a lot of attention and a lot of follow-ups. How are you, on one end, going to ensure that the houses are allocated to the correct people and that fraudsters are not in the midst of these transactions when it comes to deceiving people and having people not benefit from this program?
Well, we have group forensic investigation unit in the city, and I can tell you they are investigating cases as we speak. There is one case that they are investigating where the contractor overcharged the department, and there are other cases that they are investigating where official has alleged been selling houses to our own the senior citizens in Johannesburg. There is a case that I've opened with the police at the Heathrow police station, where there are people who are scamming our residents, pretending to be the officials of the city, using the name of the department, using my name as the MMC, saying that we are going to prioritize them and put them on top of the list. And we have opened the case with the police police, and the police are investigating, and there have been victims who have come forth and we have submitted those evidence to the police, and we hope and believe that the police will expedite the investigation so that they brought these people to book. We have also made our system very transparent, and our processes where we invite councillors and we give them a list of beneficiaries that will be allocated into our mega projects. And after that, we request them to call public meetings and read out those names so that even the residents in those areas are able to know and understand the people that will be taken out of those communities to be allocated into houses. So we have tried over the past few months to make the process transparent, and we have engaged with our residents even through our public engagement, where we are saying to them, we are outlining, in fact, the processes of the allocations, and we make sure that they understand how the city embarks on the process of allocation so that they don't fall into this trap of these fraudulent people that goes around and collect monies to our residents and claim that they are going to allocate them into houses.
You say that you engage with residents. In your engagement with the residents, we know that there are also loopholes because there's an operation called Operation Dudula, which we've seen in Alexandra, we've seen in Soweto, where residents are essentially saying the housing department is not doing enough to address their concerns, and they're now taking the law within their own hands and removing people, including foreign nationals, who may be occupying homes that they believe should be, of course, given to a South African. How are you dealing with that challenge?
Well, first of all, we encourage our residents to utilize our law enforcement agencies and not to take the law into their own hands. If there are any allegations of corruption in the process of allocations, we always encourage them to report that. We always encourage them to come forward with the information so that we are able to open those cases, because we believe that it's only the law enforcement agents that will assist us in dealing with this issue. For them to take the law in hands is not going to assist the system because they will end up fighting among themselves within the communities. But if there is someone who has done anything wrong, the law enforcement agent is there to assist us so that they are able to suffer consequences of their actions, and that's what we always encourage our residents to do. And even now, we encourage our residents to come forward with the information, any whether it is alleged, whether they heard it from certain members within the communities. So the information that is going to help us in rooting out corruption within the system, will be of great assistance, and we always encourage them to come forward with that information so that we take all that information to law enforcement agents and also take it to our group forensic investigation for investigation so that we are able to arrest these people.
Right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Housing MMC in the City of Johannesburg, Mlungisi Mabaso, talking about some of the priorities that are being set out in addressing the housing challenges in the country. Of course, looking at what the City of Joburg is facing, a backlog of about 500,000 people who are still in need of houses.